Hey guys, welcome back to Draw Along Doodles with Walker. This is part of our Valentine's edition. So, we're going to go for one of those classic boxes of chocolate candies that you see sometimes on Valentine's. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like these are kind of gamble chocolates. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. If it wasn't like someone else's chocolate, I might stick my finger in the back of it to see what's in there. Okay, so we're going to start by tilting our paper slightly and we're going to make a heart. So we're going to arch over and then we're going to arch over and I'm going to try to keep them about the same size. If that makes you really nervous, you could always cut a heart from paper and trace it. Okay, I've got this part. Now I'm going to come and make a small little border around it for the edge of the box. And then once I've got that, I'm going to come and I'm going to make the side of the box. So it's going to come down, curve around with that curve in the heart. It's going to peek up right there to make the little turn. And then it's going to gradually come and go behind the side. Okay, now we need to come in and put the lid on there. Sometimes it helps if you'll move your measurements. And I'm going to turn my paper just like I did before, where I saw that my heart was turned on the diagonal. Now, you may determine that you want your lid to be behind, which is fine, or you want it to be on top. Also fine. Totally your call. All right. Now I'm going to get the side of this box. So down and then curving around with that side of the heart and coming up. Now, a lot of times the old school boxes of chocolate have a big ribbon on the front of them. So I'm going to get rid of that so I can clearly delineate what's the back and what's the front. And I'm going to draw a rectangle going across my box. And then I'm going to make my bow on top of it. I'm going to come out in both directions from the center. Then I'm going to come out in both directions from the center. Now I'm going to come straight down to make those two triangles. And I'd like to clip off the corners for this one to give a little angular variation to what's a pretty rounded piece. Okay. Now, obviously, we wouldn't be able to see the inside underneath those bows. And we do already have a lot of 3 dimensions going on here. So I think it only makes sense for us to come and show the underside of this one and the underside of this one. All right, and we'll come and add a little bow end right there. All right. Now, next up, we're going to come in and put the candy. So chocolate candies tend to be ovals, circles, squares, and different variations on rectangles. Now, you can organize yours in your box if you want to, where it looks like, some are facing this way and some are in little holding locations. But I'm just going to kind of scatter mine. I feel like people will get the idea like this. And it's okay if you end up having to make some slightly smaller or slightly bigger, because that's how chocolates and gamble chocolates are. They're different sizes. And if you want the one with the toothpaste taste, then it's probably best that you got the smaller size. Okay, so I've got my chocolates. I'm going to come in and give them little chocolate drips on the top in some of those classic patterns where there's a V and there's a zigzag and there's a curly Q And there's a spiral. And they're striped. And I believe this one I want to do a wave. And I'll come down here and we'll give this one that alternating V. And then this one, let's go with a gentle copy of that. Okay. Now, when I come in to do things, obviously, the top is a possibility of where I could goof up. So I'm going to do that first. And I'll come and put that little end to my bow right there. And I'm going to give it a little V to give it some dimension. Now, I'll come out with my rectangle, the part of the bow that's wrapping around. And then I will get the side of my box. There we go. I will make sure my sides connect. And then I'm going to get the part of the box that's coming downward. Then I'm going to tilt that ribbon so that it's going down along the side as well. All right, I'm going to do the outline of this box first. So that I make sure I've got my little edge. Okay, and now I'm getting the side of it, giving it that little bend in the bottom, and then going around. Now, usually chocolates like this have wrappers around them. So in just a second, I'm going to draw the wrappers with my Sharpie. I'm doing that because I feel pretty confident that now that I have the chocolates in place, I can draw the zigzag wrappers without needing to draw them twice with a pencil. And they're very time consuming. So I don't want to get in a situation where, I knew how to do that, but I didn't trust myself. Okay. And give my little indentations in my chocolate. You may decide once you look at it that you want something to be a little bit different now that you've seen it all drawn out and you're starting to see it together in a nice, bold pattern. Or you might decide, hey, that's exactly how I wanted it. Okay, so now I'm ready to go in and put my wrappers. If you wanted to really stylize it, you could do smooth wrappers. I went for the classic wrapper where I've got that little zigzag. It's not totally even around the edge. Now, does it make it a little bit harder to add color? Yes. But does it look so incredible that it's really worth it? I think so. Now, you might even decide to make some Valentines for people in your family. So maybe this is going to be on the front of a card that you give to somebody. Or maybe you decide, hey, your teacher has worked really hard and she does so much to make your day great. Maybe you want to give her a Valentine's card with your picture that you've drawn. I'm sure she would appreciate that greatly. Or he, if your teacher is a boy. Either way, I know whoever you do this for, whether it's for you or somebody else, they will be very excited. Everybody likes a well done drawing because this is something where we will be able to tell that you've taken your time and you've really done great work. Now, I noticed I had a little flag there, a little extra Sharpie where I hadn't lined up correctly. And I just used it to turn that line to part of my wrapper. I'm also not agonizing about if these zigzags are perfectly equal, because as long as I'm close, we know that those crinkle wrappers are kind of hard to be exactly the same. Like, even in real life, they're not a perfect mirror of each other. Okay. So here are my candies in my Valentine's box. All right, guys. Can't wait to see how you look when you're finished. And we'll talk to you later.